From the moment you wake up, your brain is forced to manage a relentless stream of high-speed collisions. Traffic lights, notification badges, overlapping conversations, and scrolling text all demand immediate processing. Filtering out this irrelevant data pushes our working memory to its absolute limit, leaving our attention systems completely exhausted by midday. When your mind spends all its energy triaging external inputs, the internal processing power drops to zero. You literally lose the bandwidth required to hear your own internal monologue. Then you step into an environment defined entirely by its emptiness. The vast, high-altitude landscape strips away those sensory demands instantly. Retreating into these remote spaces serves a strictly neurological function, a required biological reset. Erasing the environmental chaos provides the exact mechanism we need to dig out the core version of ourselves that modern life systematically buries. Standing next to a towering peak immediately recalibrates your sense of scale. The sheer mass of stone and ice forces a radical shift in human perspective. Psychologists classify this specific cognitive response as awe. Awe is an emotional and perceptual state, triggered when we encounter environments or concepts vastly larger than ourselves, forcing us to update our mental models of the world. This diagram illustrates ego dissolution. As you process the massive landscape, the brain's focus on the self dramatically shrinks down. When your perception of importance reduces, daily anxieties shrink at the exact same rate, allowing you to fold into a broader, interconnected network. Without the heavy cognitive burden of maintaining and defending your ego, your brain is freed up. It immediately redirects that surplus energy into the present moment, creating a state of hyper-awareness. Experiencing intense physical insignificance against a massive landscape acts as the precise mechanical trigger necessary to feel completely unburdened and entirely alive. Beyond the visual scale of the mountain, the environment provides a second, equally powerful shift: the stark absence of modern noise. There is a sharp distinction between literal acoustic silence, which is a complete void of sound, and the psychological state of felt silence. True absolute acoustic silence is biologically unnatural. When humans are placed in completely anechoic, soundproof chambers, the total lack of input induces extreme stress, disorientation, and paranoia within minutes. To understand why the quiet of the mountains heals rather than stresses us, researchers point to attention restoration theory. This psychological framework proposes that exposure to natural environments allows a fatigued brain to recover its capacity for directed focus. This diagram shows two types of cognitive processing. The jagged wave represents the hard focus of urban noise. The smooth sine wave beside it represents soft fascination, when natural inputs gently engage the brain. By resting here, deep cognitive fatigue finally smooths out and harmonizes. Felt silence operates as a specific environmental frequency that actively repairs our capacity to pay attention, completely restoring our mental endurance. With the mind quieted and rested, the physical act of moving through the mountains takes on a new neurological function. The rhythmic, uninterrupted physical exertion of climbing a steep trail shifts the balance of power inside the brain, altering which neural networks hold dominance. This schematic highlights the default mode network, interconnected brain regions responsible for memory retrieval, daydreaming, and constructing our sense of self. In the city, endless tasks suppress this network, but out here it runs uninterrupted. External distractions simply bounce off. This activation grants us the crucial processing time needed to sort through lingering memories, evaluate past decisions, and stitch together a coherent narrative of who we actually are. The landscape provides no mystical new wisdom. It inserts no new personality into the traveler. That silent self is simply our baseline human identity. It is a state of clarity and connection that has always been there, waiting perfectly still beneath the surface, immediately accessible the moment we choose to strip away the rush.